And
Yeah.
it just popped
Hi,
up. Okay,
everyone.
Hello.
Hello. How is everyone doing?
Peachy.
Sarah?
I'm just holding on to the rocket ship that has been the start of this year.
Oh, yes, and that's what I had started to say before we went. I really was hoping, and I would say I was hoping, I'm thinking more people really have to see by the fifth time around the same nonsense over and over again. What's going on here, So I started just looking around since, I'm suspended on Twitter. I can still look at just the one feed, but my other one stops, So I'm looking at what's trending and I'm seeing the nonsense that we always see, But since I'm not on there and I'm not really interacting or saying anything, I just kind of went on over to YouTube and started looking at tons and tons of people that are calling this out, and then going through all the comments and waiting for people to, be like, oh, go move to Iran and all this stuff. And don't get me wrong, that's being said. But overwhelmingly, it was people picking up on Project for New American Century, this, that, proxy armies, deep state, like all this different ways of saying it, but basically saying they're full of shit, and it just, I don't know, it gave me again, as I always look for the glimmers of hope and wonder in the actual spirit of humanity to wake the hell up. And now, not that I think this had anything to do with it, but unless I missed more, because things happen every 2 seconds, but supposedly they're now trying to work this out and not bomb 52 religious cultures and villages and say we're after the government, you know what I mean, or we're about freedom.
I think the UN kind of told him he wasn't going to do that.
Okay.
Because he came out and said I'm not going to break the law.
Mm-hmm.
So he got slapped on the hand about that, and then they have other ways of speaking to countries, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. They did get an earthquake pretty shortly after that, which we know they have the technology to do.
Absolutely. And then there was this downed plane.
And a plane did kind of fall out of the sky.
Yes. It's funny, when I saw that immediately, it was saying, oh, it was just an accident and this. And I said, well, that'll be blamed on Iran in a day. And today I see, they switch it up. Trudeau up in Canada saying, there's suspicions that Iran blew this out of the sky, and again, I'm not running around cheering for the Iranian government. Believe me, they're all a bunch of criminal scumbags playing a game with the people.
Well, I went and looked up their parliament. Have you ever seen the Iranian Parliament building?
No. What does it look like?
No.
A pyramid.
What a surprise.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, that's what this is. All of it. It's all the Holy Land, and they want it all. They want it all under one roof. And,
right.
It just, again, Lebanon with all the megalithic structures there. And all of a sudden you get, weather and, just all different things. Like you said, different ways of doing this. And they could easily pretend that they're, calling a truce and do things under. I mean, they'll get it done no matter how they if it doesn't work one way, they'll try another, I guess is what I'm saying.
But, if you go look at the Iranian government, they're telling them they killed 80 U.S. soldiers. So it's not just the U.S. I mean.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That all wears me out a little bit. And I understand we are the might and the muscle. And yes, we've gone around and been the proxy arm of the New World Order, basically the military arm, but I don't know.
It's not just us, like you said.
No. And it's the governments of all the nations that have been taken over, by this syndicate that we know of, and so it's all basically a puppet show.
Yeah, theater. To
and who pays is the people like us, the people.
Yep.
They had an internet blackout in Iran for a long time, leading up to this, and I think their people are speaking out and they're making sure that doesn't get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me.
No, and for people that really don't, and they just kind of watch the news and they don't realize how knowable all of these when they've come up with these stories and uh, you know, uh, whoever this crazy terrorist they're claiming to have killed, Salmonell, whatever his name is, who worked with the United States back when they invaded. When they were in Iraq, they helped push back ISIS, and that was a story that our government gave. And now he's the enemy. Like these people they just recycle names and take people out when they're no longer useful. And like the fact that people will just
Cut
go,
and
oh,
paste.
yeah, and
Cut and paste.
like that one guy, the head terrorist, has been killed 17 different times, over the past 20 years. Like, give me a break. And people still, from incident to incident, you have these people that believe it's all random and happening and necessary and raw. It is hilarious to it's like watching those football games with people that got to write the stupid letters on their chests and hold fences with a D. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like watching idiots like that with their beer hats and with their
Defense.
clappy beer hats and.
The average American just doesn't see any reason to question the news.
No, I know.
They don't know about Operation Mockingbird, and
No. But
they don't think to look any deeper.
they don't, and that's why particularly Ryan on The Last American Vagabond breaks it down so well, and then invites everyone to please research. He gives every single link he can think of. The guy's, and if you watch him and you've researched it, you're aware of most of it, to begin with. So the puzzle pieces that he's connecting and putting together, quote unquote, random episode by random episode, as they feed them to us, he can just easily unravel with all their past propaganda and what they've said they've done and what they said they're doing and how it contradicts this and that. And, so I'm hoping people, more realize that not only is this, Iraq 2.0, the same damn thing as 2003, but just after everything we just went through with the attempts over the past months to do this, getting laughed at, to realize that they're smart enough to just pretend that U.S. people are hurt or to do something to get people to go, oh, my God. And it's still all the same psyop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So, well, anyway, I just.
No, I get it.
It's all week long. It's just, I was waiting to see how this was going to. I didn't know where we'd be, especially with the full moon, where we'd be by today,
Well, the full moon is tomorrow, actually, man.
Yeah. So.
And a full moon lunar eclipse.
Yeah. And, tomorrow's Friday. And, you just.
But it's not the 13th. So the 13th is on Monday. So imagine if it was Friday the 13th and a lunar and a full moon and a lunar eclipse. That would be fucking nuts.
Yeah. I think last month we had something similar.
Yeah, because if I have my astrology right from the Leo King, like tomorrow we're ending a cycle that was like from 1983, but I think on Sunday we're ending a cycle that started like 500, was it 500 years ago, something like that?
Yeah.
So like centuries and centuries ago, but of course you have to go to his YouTube and check that out. But
right. Right. No. Yeah.
I think those are the right dates. So
yeah, and he brought something up about World War II and there being some kind of link in time to that, and suggested everybody kind of go look at how many changes were made following that, and that's what we're headed into.
Absolutely. That's the absolute purpose of war,
The age of Aquarius that they've been talking about, for centuries probably, working towards this goal. And I think that's a lot of what people feel is, who was it? Shakespeare that said the world's a stage, and paraphrasing here, everyone's an actor.
Yeah.
But when you get to the end of curtain call on a long play, I feel like everybody's a little antsy.
Yeah, for a change, instead of just us.
Well,
yeah.
the whole thing with
actually, Sarah, here it is. I have the quote.
Okay.
Okay, it's from As You Like It, and it was spoken by Jaques. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. And then he talks about like the different ages. It goes on, but that's the whole thing.
Right. And so when you're coming to an age or curtain call, so to speak,
Yeah.
you know, my problem is I'm ready for change, but not just I'm ready for change and any change, because that's what's being sold so hard, in my opinion, and what I'm having such a hard time with getting people to understand, not you guys, but
Yeah.
other people online that are like, you know, well, if there's a bad AI, there's a good AI. Okay, no, there's not. No. And the people who are creating this future, unless you wrench it from them,
Yes.
you can't walk into these smart cities and think that's a good fucking change.
No.
Mhm.
No.
For instance, this girl shares this video, right? 1 billion happy people. What happened to the other 7 billion?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you
Right.
building your happy little life in your happy little smart city, yay, rah, hoo, shit on the back of 7 billion genocided human beings?
And that's exactly what they're doing, just like you
Yeah.
said, and smiling about it. You know.
Yeah. And like one of my other followers, I can't remember their name right now, but thank you, came on and they said, yeah, I'm sure in harmony with nature. And, you know,
Right. Oh yeah. Right. You know, just like all of the movies are showing us what it will look like with this
I mean, and they're
elite.
serious. They're like, oh, well, 1 bit. Can you do math? There's 8 billion people, and 1 billion of you are going to be happy. At what cost?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then the fact of the matter is, you're not going to be happy. If you are happy, it's because you got the happy pill from the AI in the morning before you walked out the door.
Exactly. That's exactly,
Exactly.
right.
You're
You know?
allowed
Yep,
to walk out the door if your social credit's good.
Yeah. Well, exactly right. You know, which I think is, like you said, it's already made its way into people's mindsets already with you know, the hoops they jump through now just to you know, do what they think they need to do, and those are the hoops that we're all trying to knock down. But
Well, this is one thing that I think they're selling with this World War III. It's almost like a threat. It's like, oh, we can do this World War III, or, you know, we could just work towards this smart city goal where, you know, I saw somebody call it the hippie timeline. Well, I don't know if you watched Logan's Run or not, but
Oh.
it's pretty sad.
it is.
And, you know, I wish it wasn't. I wish that, you know, something slapped them on the side of the head and they did wake up and want to do right. But that's not feasible. That makes no sense. And if you look at who's backing the smart cities, it's the same Bank of America,
Yep. Yep. It's all the same.
Deutsche Bank, all the same players. And if you're fooling yourself into thinking somehow that's going to be happy land, you're insane.
Right. Well, you know, they're also all the same places that everyone's. These are all the bad guys. They're all coming down. It's all, you know. Like, you
The
know,
deep state is coming down.
It's all, and
The
all
deep
these.
state. Q is our hero.
Exactly, you know, and all of
Come
these same places continue going on. You know, rigging the silver market, rigging the stock market, pumping, you know, money into it, propping up wars. Nothing's changed, and then their president spews all of the same rhetoric, but you know he's playing with them. He's flushing out the deep state, and I saw, you know, and I think I'm going to have to unsubscribe from him. I used to watch Christopher Green before. He's a Bitcoin guy. I saw one of his YouTubes, and look, God bless him, he's a nice guy. I saw one of his YouTubes today. The Ayatollah contacted Trump, and they wanted to take out. He wanted them taken out. You know, this guy they took out, this activist that was leading his people. people, that they took out over there, like they did to Edgar Friendly on Demolition Man, or tried to, and he's selling this narrative that the Ayatollah told Trump under the table, and they were in it together, and it's like, Jesus God, people will tell themselves anything, A, not to lose their YouTube audience, and B, to continue to think that being rich from Bitcoin is going to save you from fucking AI slavery. You know what I mean?
Of course it will, Tom. Come on.
I mean,
Stop bringing up people's parades.
Yeah,
who do you think is running Bitcoin?
yeah,
AI?
well, and that's the thing too. Like the way people just they really don't see that the potentiality of evil that if we don't get rid of, is going to continue to work that right into exactly where they want, having used all of the same people to get it going to begin with, that we're all running around the freedom movement, all happy about it. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because not enough people trust it and understand they can use it to decentralize. But like you said, it's ultimately run by them to begin with, this criminal cabal at the top, that unless it's dealt with, nothing is good. No technology, no Bitcoin, none of it,
The criminal cabal
Exactly.
and the dark occultists and
Yeah.
all of that, it has to be torn out at the roots.
Yes,
And it not necessarily even violently.
no,
It's
just mentally, just
Yeah.
realizing, Jesus God, turning the shit off, the Tucker Carlsons, the Fox News, the
The
Trump
young
Twitter
Turks.
feeds.
The
Yeah,
young
yeah,
Turks.
yeah, just come on. It's like I say it every week. It's just so stupid, I'm sorry. It's just this whole thing is so third
And,
grade
it's
mentality.
on this whole World War III shit, but the real World War is already on. Like I
Yeah.
was thinking,
Hmm.
it's like that guy that you were talking to, Tom, about the chemtrails. And he's like, "What the fuck are you gonna do? Shoot it down?"
Right.
So they end up where they feel like it's almost like the people who were on the truth train, and then Trump came along, and it's like, well, we got to try it. It's like they got to have a savior.
Yeah.
And that's how people get pulled back into it. And that's kind of what's got me feeling a little hopeless, is people just having to have a savior. Well, the AI is going to play savior for you. I mean,
absolutely. That's absolutely.
and meanwhile, the world war is raging in Australia. That is the true war, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've been watching Max Egan report on it. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
And I can't post anything, so it really pisses me off. I can't post anything. It drives me nuts. Guess I'm going to have to get a new damn account or something. I don't know.
Well, I went back to Twitter, and so
Same
did
here.
You did?
Lisa.
Yeah.
I was losing it sitting on my hands, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. So am I. And, I've actually...
You go ahead and set one up, and I'll try to get you more followers. But
Okay.
I tell you, the censorship game has reached all new heights.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet it's fun on there.
Oh.
Nobody sees anybody, probably.
No, it's like do, and there's freaking what do you call it, tumbleweeds going
Yeah.
down the Twitter hall. Is there
Crickets
anybody
chirping.
out here?
It's and so if you guys went back, do you think, because I know a lot of people were leaving, do you think other people, I mean, you're there, do you see other people have come back who left?
A few have come back, and then there's those that are just like, hell no, not doing it.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I tweeted today, Air Force could tap into individuals' online data to combat insider threat. But that's not just Twitter.
Mhm.
That's your Gmails. That's your if you think about it, your smartphones, even your messages would go under that.
Yeah, everything.
And then to take it even a step further, they have our brains mapped, and they can read the patterns of our brains, so they can basically hack your data just sitting in your house. So if you're not a monk with a blank mind sitting around going all day, they're probably they're going to get you one way or the other. And I just figure I'm going to stand out. And I've never been one time to I was telling Lisa, I don't like to prolong my punishment.
Mm-hmm.
If you're coming at me, fucking come.
Yep.
Let's get it over with. I don't, you know.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I'm the same with. I don't and I don't know if maybe I was a little over the top last week when I was saying I don't mean it like I don't care what happened, but meaning the same thing. Like if this is going to happen, I'm not going to sit here and try to run from it, hide from it, hope it's just. If freedom of speech or whatever it is being taken away, I'm not fucking doing it. That's what I'm saying. And when it came to Twitter to begin with, I felt like, these people aren't running me the fuck off of here. If they're going to come after my freedom of speech, then fucking come after it, I'm staying, you know what I mean? And then they fucking suspended me, but, before that,
I still really don't get that.
No, I don't either. And I'm waiting for, oh, okay, we thought you were a bot or something, and I'm unsuspended, but it doesn't seem to be happening, So,
they've got you marked from something. I don't know, because
too truthful, I guess.
Maybe.
And I don't really play the game of getting on and arguing back and forth and calling people names, and you know what I mean. Like none of us do, And they, that's how they report people and do all. And I don't play that game, I usually just block them. Give a shit what you're saying. You know what I mean? Half the time.
Yeah. That's my new way of dealing with it.
Yeah, it's just easier, and
I told a girl, we're done here.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go in and think you can program an AI that's sentient, and you really think that you're gonna program it to be good,
yeah.
have a good time.
Enjoy that. Let me know how that life lesson works out.
Let me let you get on with that.
But I do wonder too, because I do tweet out a lot of David Icke, and he talks, and Ryan from Last Vagabond. These guys talk about Israel, and that's the key word. What I mean?
But they didn't take. Yeah, but they didn't take it. They didn't take him down.
No, and that's the thing. They have so many followers that I think that would cause a bit of a stink. They just kind of.
Hey Tom.
Yeah.
Hey Tom. Actually, while we're talking about like things being deactivated, Sarah, I'm going to share what happened with one of my Instagram accounts, and I this is from earlier this week. On Monday. You know what I was talking about? Like you said, it's Holocausty. That thing. Anyway. Okay.
Your Instagram account?
Yeah, I have several, but one of them. Basically, I have stuff like devoted to like Chris Jericho, because I love Chris Jericho.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Nah, you can't tell that. But so I do fangirling there and everything. Mm-hmm. So I post pictures, just stuff,
right.
Fangirl stuff. Mm-hmm. So
right, stuff you enjoy to post, exactly.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Don't tell me they took you down.
And they took out. They actually have 3 because, because they were doing censorship with one of them, and the one they did the most censorship on, they took down. They deactivated, and Facebook sent me, because the Facebook runs Instagram. Mm-hmm. So Facebook says, after telling them, my Instagram account was deactivated, they said, "Hi, thanks for contacting us. Before we can help, we need to confirm that you own this account. Mm-hmm. Please reply to this email and attach a photo of yourself holding a handwritten copy of the code below."
Oh my!
And they give us a code, and they give the 5 numbers there, mm-hmm. and please make sure that the photo you send includes the above code handwritten on a clean sheet of paper, followed by your full name and username. So if they say by full name, I'm not sure like the middle name. But whatever. So includes both your hand that's holding the sheet of paper and your entire face, is well lit, is not too dark, small, dark, or blurry, and is attached to your file as a JPEG file. Keep in mind that even if this account doesn't include any pictures of you or is used to represent someone or something else, we won't be able to help until we receive a photo that meets these requirements. Thanks, the Instagram team. Sent January 6th at 7:01 a.m.
Yeah, there's not a...
We need facial recognition cameras.
Right, exactly. I mean, they might as well have you hold, like you said, it's like you're in a mugshot holding this fucking police number. Turn to the right, please. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. But the same, I mean, it's not the first time obviously my face has been on Facebook and shit, so they know what my face looks like.
Right.
So it's not fucking, but it's like, I shared that with Sarah, and tell us your reaction, Sarah.
I said it sounded kind of Holocausty.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's
Do
a.
I get a tattoo next?
And thanks, Sarah. This is just from like a fangirl account. Okay, I only do like sometimes I repost stuff and I say this is from, I try to get rid of the extra hashtags from those people's posts, and I guess I upset the algorithms or something because I don't know, because I don't like. I fail to see how stuff like that is harmful to the Instagram community. I mean,
Right.
seriously.
You're not feeding the AI. Get out of here.
Yeah, well, see, that's the other thing that people don't realize is it's not just going to happen to the truth community. It's going to happen to those kinds of accounts, fan accounts, things that they don't want. It's going to happen to the gamers that are making tons of money off playing PS4 all day, and like people that
on
are
Twitch or something.
that are skateboarding and all making money now. They ain't gonna want them fucking doing that. Making their own money, sitting at home playing freaking games like that. All that shit's that income is going to go away, and we know it because it's happened to the truth community. But all these people, that they don't understand, that's also what's coming to them.
And the YouTube channels where people are making their money that way.
Yeah, a lot of gamers do that. They sit and play the brand new video game, and they got like 1 million freaking views and tons of commercials, and whatever they're getting paid. A lot of college kids, from what because my son used to watch some of them when he was young, when he was little.
Let's plays or long plays.
Yeah, but they're not going to want them sitting at home doing that. That's actually a bad social credit score in China if you play too many video games. That's one of the things. So, people aren't realizing that this is targeting everyone, not just.
I love how they know the shit's addictive. They hand it out to the public, and then they take it away like they're bad.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's like an abusive parent. So it's exactly what the relationship is, an abusive parent. That's all government really is. That people allow to play that role in their lives.
Well, it all comes with the cosmic abandonment.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other. That's the first thing I actually ever saw from Mark, and that was
cool.
that was one of the things that really.
That's the way to start it.
Well, yeah, I started wrongly. Like that's what he'll always scream about. Don't start there. Well, I didn't know. You know what I mean? And I just came across it, and had realized I was actually listening to him somewhere else. Somebody was running a channel with him and David Icke, and I had never heard of him at the time, and just kind of listened to it, and then forgot about it, and then later on found that cosmic abandonment, and then backtracked and went, wait a friggin' minute, and that's when I realized, all right, something's telling me to look into this guy, and then forget it. I went into the podcasts, and that was it from there, and all the presentations, and a whole world opened up, so.
Awesome.
People that don't complete the journey and just kind of stick where they're comfortable. They really don't understand how this is simply about human freedom and understanding ourselves.
I'm glad you brought up Mark, because Mark's the one who taught me the idea of order following.
Me too.
And
believe it or not.
I always hated that anyway. I just never had a name for it or concept for it. I just always, considered myself a rebel. Tell me to do that, I'm going over here, and then I'll go over there if I want to.
It's the truth, And weirdly enough, when I was young and did make that choice to become a cop, one of the reasons I didn't want to become a soldier was because I didn't want to follow orders, and I didn't see it that way when I became a cop, and especially because we really just didn't. We didn't have people. We just went out and walked around, said hello to people, whatever. In the beginning, and then later on, realized, like I said, thought I was just fighting egos and all that. And as time went on, realized that's exactly what I was up against, was this, order following, and I would not realize that if Mark had not really been as intense as he was, and if I wasn't as open to look at my own choices and realize and take my own experience and go, wait a minute, he's fucking right, instead of defending my experience, instead of doing that.
That makes him madder than anything on the earth, because
it does.
Because that is how they do it.
He's correct.
Like, for instance, those people that with the Air Force, if they said, no, this is a U.S. citizen, and yes, her views are different than mine, but she doesn't deserve to be targeted, or
Right.
all the shit that they're about to do to force us vaccinations is all on the backs of these order followers.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are going to put the guns in people's faces. They're the ones that are going to show up at your door and demand you give up your gun.
Yes. And that is a reality that many people have not. They don't want to think about. Even in the people that I know that have done this job, they tell themselves that they won't do that. I'm like, yeah, you're out of your fucking mind, but okay. Because it's a state of cognitive dissonance that the experience alone of doing it, if you throw yourself, and I know a lot of them did, because that's when I was there and this is who they were, when they throw themselves into that identity of this is who I am, and it's hard to rip that away. And one of the guys, when I retired, he actually retired with me, and then another one a year later, he had trouble with it, and ended up going back. And I remember at the time, the other person that did go out with me, he had more of a difficult time with it. I couldn't tear that fucking thing off quick enough when I did it. And it was because that wasn't my identity,
Wow.
and in fact, it was such the antithesis of my identity at the end and last stages of my career that I was sick to my stomach going in there every day, trying
Yeah.
to teach these jerk offs how to treat people. And newer people coming in were just total smacked asses, and I'm like, who are these fucking young punks treating people a certain way? You try to talk to them and they look at you like, fuck you, and and that was 2001, 19 years ago. So you see the progression now with how they do it, and these guys really only remember their own experience. They'll tell themselves that no, there's still good guys there, and they don't realize there never really was. We were always in a position to where if we had to do something that we didn't want to do, like make an arrest for whatever it was, or that back then you were even having to do it without your supervisor knowing, because arrests and certain, the only things that aren't mandatory are and that are discretional are motor vehicle summonses. Everything else, they're supposed to immediately make an arrest. Well, there's common sense that used to be involved in the 90s where, you take a kid home, you know what I mean, back to his parents instead of, normal stuff that
Yeah.
these guys can't do anymore. And they tell themselves it's because of the camera they wear, the administration tells them it's for their safety. And, these guys then know that, okay, well, we have to write the ticket, we have to be, and they think that's an excuse and a reason to do it. And I try to explain to them that you should be doing it the same way, and who gives a fuck about the camera, answer for, yeah, this is why I did it. I wasn't writing that, I wasn't doing that. But these cameras scare the hell out of them because it's their, not just their paycheck, it's their identity. And I see it more and more because I unfortunately do know many of them. you know, and that's what the public doesn't get when they got their thin blue line flags and they're getting with their fellow families or relatives that are police, and they're all Trump because a lot of police are pro Trump. Not all of them, but a lot of them that I know
Yeah.
anyway. And I know some that aren't, but most of them are. It's a okay, well, if we're all on the same side together, then they'll take care of me when the time comes, and they won't. They'll do what they're told. That's what they will do.
Yep.
And that's what people need to really wake up and realize, and to not even approach it as at this point that they're the enemy, because they're still coming over people's houses for barbecues and coaching their kids and their sons and daughters and relatives, and people just need to talk to them. I spend a lot of time doing it. It's not fun, but it needs to be done. And you do it subtly, and sometimes they don't call back for a little while, but that's just the way it goes. You just plant the seeds. So
Yeah.
anyway, I get off on that, and I can talk all day. So I'll stop
Well,
now.
we're here to talk. So,
I know, but
you're in good company, man.
I'll start getting all annoyed, and
Well, it's honestly with I think we're pretty well. eh, I think we're doing a pretty okay in general, considering this week is like and I keep on going back to astrology, but I follow Leo King. He's not the only astrologer, but he's helped me like out since 2015. So 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 I talk about him.
Yeah,
So
right. Okay.
but so like, and this week is like a very intense week astrologically, and it's like he said he's been talking about this like week for like years and years and years. So it's not, it's very it's understandable that we would be so worked out up about everything. I mean, like, right, Sarah?
Well, yeah, and I don't know if he's mentioned it or not, but other astrologers have. There's things coming up in America's chart. I think what is it? Pluto, they're having Pluto return or
Yeah, I think that's on Sunday.
right.
I think I know
So
Uranus comes direct on Sunday. It's
Uranus.
stationing tomorrow.
So
I think that's it.
going to play into and a lot of that's going to go, I hate to use the word karma, but your actions as a nation and you reaping what you sow, you can look at it that way. We were built on genocide. It would only make sense for them to want to build the new one on some more genocide. Just saying. That seems to be the way they do it.
Yep.
So, and then another thing that I'm watching is this. They're using this flu thing to. It's being considered a national security issue at this point. And I keep seeing words like that, and you can't just pass by words like that.
Oh no, they got the playbook out,
Yeah,
step by step.
I was talking to my stepson today, and he's like, they closed these schools, and they came in with these masks, and were cleaning, and I was like, wow, here we go. Because I always try to hit people with kids, your kids, your little kids. And,
oh yeah, definitely.
And so I see that ramping up, and that's scary as Larry Page and Bill Gates is over there working on,
old Billy boy.
I just see Dr. Evil when I see his face.
Oh yes, yeah. Without the jokes, you know what I mean? Because at least Dr. Evil's funny.
That's true.
No.
And if we didn't have funny and sarcasm, I wouldn't be able to survive this whole Holocaust. That's the
100%.
one thing my soul has learned from humanity is we are fucking funny. You know what I mean? People are funny, and they can be funny because without it,
you better not lose your sense of humor.
No, because without it, it would, and really that could almost get us out of this because this whole thing is so stupidly funny. Like you said, right to the flu, right to the up here this way, and I know all around me they got snow and tornadoes. Carol's doing a video, all kind of hell breaking loose potentially.
Oh, guess what? It's supposed to be here next week, Tom.
Don't even say it.
90 degrees.
Oh yeah, we're 60 coming up. 90 degrees.
In January. Now I live in the deep south, and
I gotta start. Yes.
Go ahead, sir. 75 degrees, but 90 no, not in January.
No, we're down in the high 20s, low 30s today, and we'll be 60 by 50 and 60 by tomorrow. We just had days of misty rain. It was perfectly blue sky this morning. Clouded and cluttered with white by 3 o'clock. Gone. The whole sky was white. Sprayed it X's, and it looked like there were 3 suns because shit was glowing off the clouds. Prisms and all. It's insane, but people don't notice this stuff.
And here in Wisconsin, like Friday night, and I'm looking at weather.com. We're supposed to get like Friday night, like snow 1 to 3 inches. Saturday, we're supposed to get 5 to 8 inches of snow. Saturday night, snow accumulating 3 to 5 inches.
Wow. Do you have snow now? You have snow on the ground up there?
No. It was just rainy today.
Okay.
Yeah, but
interesting. I tell you, you throw Mike Morales on, you'll know exactly what's coming.
Speaking of Mike, he brought to my attention that over in Australia, if you're watching Max Egan, then you know that he showed perfectly how they do have the water, and they're holding it in these huge water lake.
Yep.
Like cisterns, something like that.
Well, it's like a holding pond, but a huge one.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
and they won't allow anybody to get the water from it. And they're just releasing the water like back out into the ocean
That's
when it gets,
exactly right.
and they
You're right.
won't let them get any of the water out of the streams, the rivers that they release it from. Well, they have now confirmed that they're wiping out camels by choppers with professional killers because camels drink too much water. So the camels actually have survived somehow this onslaught against nature, where 500 million mammals alone have died so far.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to go and shoot them out of choppers.
You know, this is, see, it's that kind of stuff that you even, I don't know, why does that hit me harder than,
It does me.
It hits me hard too, Tom.
Lisa had to call me. She's like, "Look, I'm gonna call you after work, okay?"
It is today.
I just like for a second, I just saw complete red.
Yeah, I can't even.
The animals haven't done anything, Tom. That's
No.
why it makes you feel bad, because humanity, by whether it was on purpose or we all know that we've been mind controlled since birth and whatever, but still, whether consciously or unconsciously, we have created this mess together. But they're just innocent bystanders.
Yeah, who actually do live in, their habitats, harmony with nature, and it's the complete war on Mother Earth, and they're as much as its victims as
it's like, and they want these big, for Agenda 21, these nature reserves. What? Nature reserve of what? Black ash?
Yeah, pretty much, the one that's
Egan
well, they don't give a shit about life, right? So there you go. Either animal or human.
I can't get everybody to understand. If everybody truly understood what was happening, everybody would drop their bullshit and run out in the street and do whatever the hell they had to do to stop it. Because it's literally the battle of life and death. It's Mordor, and it's here.
It's true,
and it's now. And as we all sit by and let this shit happen, is just driving me insane.
I agree, and that's the part that's the hardest, because like you said, I stupidly, as I was learning more and more of this, pictured exactly just that once people understood this, they would never sit back, and then when people don't want to hear it, it just blows you away and just defeats you more and more and more. And like you said, that's why I understand, like you said, what Mark gets mad at when and I hope that he gets back on the air soon. It's January, and I haven't heard from him yet, but that's his plan. So
I feel him. I mean, he probably had to take a break.
Yeah, well, he did, and we actually almost did one a couple of weeks ago in December, but at the last second he decided to do something else. So I know he's planning on coming back on the air. I just hope it's soon, because
I hope so too.
And I know some of it, he was having some work done on his property, so the place was a mess. So it was.
Doesn't he have a big project in the works too?
Yeah, he's trying to get that natural law documentary out, which I saw the screening of. It's great, in its raw form. It's great. So finished and produced, even the way he's gonna, Mark always adds his stuff. It's gonna be even more. But it really will, and it needs to get out there, and people need to, start seeing it, because it just brings home the common sense. It really does. And see, and that's why even in some of our shows, when we're like, I don't know how many people would listen to this, and then when we talk about certain, whether it's religion and people get turned off because of and again, to each his own. But if you realize at the core, it's not about saying negative things about that. It's about getting people to wake up inside their own head to realize how to internalize these things and to stop looking to other, like you said, where it's a deity or a politician or a Q-op or a flat earth or whatever it is, to to realize this, and
Which is why that has all been externalized that way, to take the power from the individual, so that when we do see these things, they look so much bigger than us that there's how could we possibly do anything?
yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good point.
And
Yeah,
it's working like a charm.
yeah,
And I get it. I mean, I get it. The machine is huge. It's huge, and they show in Hunger Games. I mean, if people we ever do stand up, I mean, people will be mowed down.
yeah,
There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, you are going to risk your life,
yeah. And
and
to me, it's worth it because the other way is not life. You
well,
know.
I have kids, and I also have a grandkid, and one on the way, and
Right.
I can't look them in the face if I don't do everything within my power
Yep.
to
Mhm.
change this,
Yeah. Just to say,
including
well,
laying my life down.
agreed. Because it's not a life I want to sentence, like you said, your kids or grandkids too. And even if we
Mhm.
can't stop it, it's worth dying to try to
Hmm.
to resist it if it's coming in. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. And they
Because
know that. I mean, that's why in all of the shows there's a resistance group, and you know,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
they know there are going to be people that there's nothing they can do with them.
Yeah, I mean they're always in the movies, aren't they? As the bad
Hmm.
guy, the
Well,
bad guys, and you know what I mean. The ones
well,
that are.
okay. Even talking about books, and and Mark has suggested this too because it's on his arc drive, and I mentioned it before, in the sort of Truth series, what would you know, you have to have a Richard Rawl against Dark and Rawl, and then against Emperor Jagang, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Jagang of the old world, um and then of Hannah's arc, and in the last story arc of the whole thing. So I mean, it's you always good versus evil, and if it's fine, your time of duality, fine, but it's talking about the light and dark aspects within ourselves as well. So
Yeah,
Right.
there
that's,
you
but
go.
see, if people could, and again, to me anyway,
Mm,
that's the whole point of life. That's the whole point of what we're doing here. That's the schooling of understanding the true
mm,
difference between, good and evil, dark and light, and that
mhm.
exists within all of us.
Yep.
And
Yes, okay, and I'm gonna bring in, like, okay, in Star Wars, in Empire Strikes Back, okay, Luke goes into the temple, not in the temple, in the cave where Yoda says, the power of the dark side of the Force is strong. And what does he find? He finds that he's, a part of Darth Vader is a part of him. It's his darkness.
Right.
yes,
So
yes,
that's part of it. I mean, he fights a Darth Vader, but when he, well, people know it. If you
yeah, they
watch
did.
Empire Strikes Back,
See, and they similarly did the same thing in the new movies, when they
yeah.
had her with the mirror, that the ongoing mirror that was her, all the way back, and then her dark side was the Palpatine,
Yep.
so
Just
it's
say it. It's okay. People haven't watched it by now. It's spoilers. It's almost been out for a whole.
oh
Feels like
please look, I never that
whatever.
movie's like a month old if you haven't seen it,
Yeah, just say
and
it. Okay.
And most people are, especially Star Wars fans, are too busy trashing it anyway because they trash everything Star Wars anymore because Disney owns it. I get it, but
I I loved it personally, but
I liked it too. I mean, could it have been better? Yes. My brother actually told me
of
that
course
the books are different, and that's what
they
people get
are.
mad at. But
They are. But
it's again, Hollywood is got it has its own agenda. But they have to put
true.
the truth in there, or the movie doesn't work. So it's in there. It's always in there. you know, so I did. I enjoyed it, but that's. Again, like you were saying, Sarah, too, that's more externalization, whether it's Star Wars or the Avengers, it's all superhero and the good guy, good hero, good girl, leader, externalized, in a movie or a book or a story, or like I said, religion, politics. They do it in so many different ways, and if people could just realize that's who they are, and it doesn't mean you're leaping from tall buildings, it means you're doing the right fucking thing in your own life every day, understanding what that is. Not well. I got to do it. My boss told me I got to screw this guy and hide this money and deprive this whatever. I got to do it. It's the rules. Lose my job. And
Yeah.
that's in the small world. I'm not even talking about the order following kill business. Where it really matters that these people just do what they're told and believe this rhetoric, while invading countries. So, it's and instead of their relatives realizing, look, I don't want that being done to my son, daughter, nephew, niece. I'm going to stand up for the truth and try to. They get angry that you're not supporting the military, you don't want freedom, you're not a patriot, you're not American. It's just the brainwashing is no, actually, you're not being American because you're not supporting freedom. You're not speaking the truth. You're believing blindly because you don't want to realize yourself that the situation they're in is bad. They're being used.
That sounds a little bit like satanic inversion, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Which very it's the whole way of life here anymore. The whole inversion. Again, I those flags, I saw one today in line somewhere, that inverted flag with the stars in the front makes me crazy. They even have them on football jerseys now. It's just throwing the inversion in your face.
Yeah.
That's not our flag. The stars don't go on the right; they go on the left. Sorry.
Well, and it's also and also a lot of it's the gold fringe anyway. So
exactly,
the admiralty law.
Exactly.
And if you want to go far enough back in history, we didn't actually win the American Revolution, and we're actually not a country; we're a corporation.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And all of those things, though, can lead up to realizing that, hey, maybe this one's bullshit, too. You know what I mean? But God forbid, you know what I mean? No, this one's real, like the Lusitania, like the Gulf of Tonkin, like Pearl Harbor, yeah, it's all real, all happened. All admitted false flags to start war, but this one's real, Okay, I got it, man, okay. Why? Because fucking wavy red-haired Trump said so? Gotcha. All right, there you go. And it was if Obama said it, it wouldn't have been real.
I think the UN kind of using. I think Trump was put in there for that reason. So it gets to that point. So the people are so fearful of what might happen. It's going to help them bring in the New World Order. I don't know
definitely.
I don't know how far they're going to push it, but the corporatocracy is coming out of the closet. They're going to do away with Congress and all that, which is bought out, corporate owned. They might as well wear what corporation sponsors it into the House of Representatives there anyway. But,
exactly.
But the point is, like with these smart cities and shit, and they're coming out, they're joking about it. I mean, they're like, if you're prepping, it just blows my mind. These preppers don't have it wrong, and then they're saying, if you get one of the fleet cars will all be owned by corporations. So, you're not going to have a car take you per se where you want to go. It's going to take you where the hell it wants to take you.
Yeah.
Where AI Daddy tells it to take you.
Yeah.
And this just came out on Technocracy News. Shock. U.S. fourth worst abuser of biometric privacy rights. Well, I mean, what's the shock about that?
You're right.
Not super shocking. How about the fact that they're reading our minds? God knows how they're even doing that, really. But
well, ancient psychologists will find a way.
Yes, they will, and they found a way to make all of that physical in this realm, which is what's so terrifying to me at this point.
Yeah,
and that supercomputer. And listen to this, Tom. They actually ripped a hole in the magnetosphere. Earth's magnetic field cracked open for multiple hours. And it wasn't from sun. There were no solar waves coming at Earth. And they were like, we don't know how this is happening. I'm like, oh, CERN.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Was that a CERN article? Where did that come from? Who reported that?
Well, it's just somebody who watches his. Let me see. Let me find his. It's called Wages World.
What's going on?
And his Wages World on YouTube.
Okay.
And he's following that, and he's also following the Schumann resonance, and he's found that they've got the Schumann resonance is the resonance of life.
Right.
So there should be one line across, and it should be right around 7.83 hertz. Well, they've got 4 lines going now. So I'm like, okay, is that 4 different timelines? And then they have one that specifically has a code going through it. You can see the ... dash all the way across to where it's being mechanically done.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Keep your eye on that Schumann resonance.
Yeah, I know it's been changing for quite a while and rising, right?
Well, and they're telling the New Age movement that's the rising of the frequency, and Earth, and I have no doubt the Earth is going through natural changes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm 99% sure it's being assisted.
Yeah. Or stopped, from.
Or stopped. Right.
I'm trying to anyway, not that I don't think that's going to happen, again, man trying to overpower nature, but that could be what they're trying to slow.
I'll be glad when Mama Nature slaps them down.
Yeah, it's I hate to say that, but if that's where we end up going, that's the way it needs to go. And it will, it's done it before. Absolutely. Yeah, and then everybody's got to learn the lesson all over again. I'm ready to learn it now, and because the reality of it is understanding that, and I've said this before, and some people, I
Well,
get.
keep on saying it. It's okay.
Well, no, I'm saying not just even on here. Like some people, I get why they, but would say, like even Mark, for instance, Mark says he'll keep coming back. He wants to keep coming back. I'm not interested in trying to convince a bunch of bozos.
Me either.
I'm interested in achieving the goal, but I'm not interested in torturing myself. Along the way, like maybe these people need to learn it themselves because. However, I want the ultimate goal. That we all do. But
I mean, apples taste good, but I'm ready to see what something else tastes like. I'm ready to experience something else.
Yeah, and
like I'm really like to see what a group consciousness could do if they were all in agreement in full. To learn the lessons, but to really learn them without this bullshit.
Right.
I mean, like there's enough, just the avatars we have are so complicated that to really win at this game would take from the minute you are a little kid, to people helping you find out what your gifts are and how to drive your avatar and use your chakras and what the true nature of reality is. And I wouldn't mind like a Fern Gully type, I'd like to live in peace with some trees and nature, and I'd like to experience that.
Yeah. Like you said,
I'm tired of this shithole. I'm tired of it.
I am too, and imagine what we could do if we were all taught from those young ages, all of those things from principled morality to the true, like you said, ways the body works to how nature works around us, to from natural law to, and it was encompassed by everyone from young ages.
And different tribes did do that. I remember seeing about one tribe that when one person, because we are born inherently with dark and light. We do make mistakes, and that would happen anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But this one tribe, if somebody made a mistake and they stepped out or they hurt somebody else in the tribe, instead of admonishing them, they would all gather around that person until, you know, they just let them know you're not alone. We're here with you.
Right.
And
Right.
it was just such a beautiful way, you know, of not having to shield their head, knowing the group was going to come in and be there for them.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. You
But
know.
hey, you're not alone. It's okay that the dark got you this time. We're going to stand here with you until you find your light.
Right, you
Mhm.
know, and that certainly is a way, like you said, that societies way above us, way more advanced than us, could move on spiritually and, you know, morally in dealing with things like that, because the majority of the people and mostly, you know, it being the opposite, like here, where everybody's egoic and immoral and you know, evil in certain ways, where that's inverted, then, you know, it's all about learning to love yourself to begin with. So then all of that starts to change within that person. Like and you can see that cyclically beginning to change the world. It's so, to me, it's just the answer. And not to sound too new agey, but it is. But it's also embracing and understanding that dark side, because people run
Yes.
away from it, and it's a part of everyone. And
Well, we've talked about that. I mean, it is a real reality, and there, you know, even if you were out in the woods, you know, you might need that dark side to be able to, you
yeah.
know, I would never harm a wolf unless it was coming to kill me, and then I would want to be able to hit it with a knife, you know.
Yeah, you know,
Mhm.
you're fighting for your life. You need that psychopath. That psychopath's got to come out, but then
Yep.
he needs to go back in when it's over. You know,
Yeah.
and that's what, you know, people don't. They run away from that whole side of them, and everybody pretends that they're all nice and they're perfect people, and then they, you know, don't realize they're talking about each other and, you know, gossiping and you know, doing God knows what else. That's all part of it too.
When I was a little kid, that's what absolutely turned me off from church, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, because you're a kid, you run around from each group to each group, and they're over there talking about Lucy over here, and they're
yep,
then people over there, they're Lucy's talking about them, and you're like, okay, this is all a big bunch of horse shit.
And
yep.
Susie's talking about Karen and
Right. It just goes on, and I'm like, and y'all just left there from talking about how to love each other.
Right, you know, it's
exactly.
insane, you know,
And to
and
be
like you
honest with
said,
you, I just can't take. I cannot take hypocrisy.
no, you
Mhm.
know, it's true, and we've all had to experience it in order to realize, hey, that I don't want to be around it. You know, most people just accept it, and they like it, you
Yeah.
know, and especially with social media now, because, you know, it's another way to do it, to gossip publicly now. You know,
Right.
it really, you know, is you know, something you just wonder. Um,
Well, that's why I didn't
Mhm.
take to Facebook because it's like
yeah,
that's about all that it
me
is.
too. That's exactly all it is, and it's literally taking
It's
your
like
high
high
school,
school. It's like
high
a high
school.
school that won't end.
Yes, that doesn't go away. That's exactly right. You know, and it's not something I wanted ever, and I still don't have a Facebook. I started one, I don't know, whatever, last year, but just to follow when I was at Mark's working, to follow the feed, and eventually I'm like, you know what, I don't even want this on here. I deleted it. I follow it with something else,
Yeah.
because
Right.
I just don't want it on there. You know, I've never wanted it from the beginning, and not even knowing it was going to turn into this stupid thing that it is now. You know, um, it was something I knew I never wanted. Like, I remember saying to people, "Why do I want someone from the fourth grade bothering me, asking me how I am and what's going on? Like, I don't even want to answer the fucking phone." You know what I mean? For people I do
Right.
know.
And you haven't spoken in 50 years.
Right, you
You
know, I want to sit and talk with this fucking person about it. No, I just don't want it. You know, either we've stayed in contact because we're been friends and we're in each other's lives, or, you know,
Right.
I don't need to be your stat and your talking point on your stupid Facebook page. Um,
Right.
and again, that was when it first came out. I'm glad I never fell for that. I mean, that's kind of why I like Twitter, because I can be myself, but
Mhm.
you don't have to do all that shit. You can just, you know, post and say your stuff and block who you want. And, yeah, you know
Yes,
what I mean.
yes, yes.
My favorite button on Twitter.
Yes, it's true. I never thought I would block as many people as I did because I'm all about, hey man, say what you want, but they just get annoying, and I don't want to read it on my page.
Well,
It's
the thing is they won't stop,
well, right.
and
They keep coming.
it's your timeline. I don't go to other people's timeline and do that. It's called
Exactly.
common. It's called common fucking courtesy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's
I don't go to your post in your timeline and then want to post 4 things that say in the opposite shit.
of what you're saying, and believe me, there's many
Right.
people that I follow that I don't agree with 9/10 of what they say. You know what I mean? And I could do that and get on and say,
Right.
but they do have that 1/10 of bit that all right, there's someone that might catch a seed here or there, but
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind a little conversation, but
right,
I'm dealing with the truth. And
right.
the truth doesn't have 5 different variations. I'm sorry, it just doesn't.
No, and I put information out like you do, and try to explain to people because you're trying to help, not because I'm trying to be right and shove my shit down your throat and convince you that And again, I know I pick on flat Earth so much because I don't give a fuck what damn size the Earth is while we're enslaved. But can't we all just figure it out together instead of he still calls it a globe? Oh, he doesn't know. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? We're enslaved, headed towards AI hell, people. And
Yeah, we could be living on a slice of pizza. The fuck difference
right? Like
it would be delicious. Thankfully, we
Yep.
can't eat it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would be without a home.
Yes. Yeah. Well, right.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, Dr. Cash Saranda here has released the first artificial human in the world. But please let's talk about the shape of it again.
Right, and argue and can't say, all right, well, you think it's flat, and here's why I think it's round, and you know what? Let's meet. Let's
Here
talk
come
about the
the
real
rundown.
problems. Yeah, we can't have that.
Come on, Tom. I mean, you got to see the AI. What it's going to do is going to think, hey, the biggest problem I see on Earth is human beings.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely.
I mean, that's just logic. Cold, hard logic is going to tell it that, and that's what it's going to do.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I mean, honestly, if we can't come together to stop AI, maybe we deserve to die.
Yeah, because like I said, this
simple.
races don't always make it. There are races that make it and races that
Well,
don't.
that's
The
what a
universe
girl
is
was
huge.
like. This tech is ancient. I just love it when I've been talking about this shit for years, and they like want to school me on some shit. And I'm like, oh, okay.
But this is brand new tech.
How many of those civilizations are still around? Could you tell me that?
Mm-hmm.
But
Because
Atlantis is still around. What are you talking about?
What one?
Atlantis is still around. What are you talking about?
It's under the ocean now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so is Lemuria, but
Okay, yes,
gone.
Lisa. Exactly. That's exactly right. They all got freaking wiped out.
Yeah, and then
You know why? Because they pursued ego, they pursued knowledge over the good shit, coming together and taking care of one another. If we had come at technology after everybody was taken care of and everybody equally had an equal share in it, then hell yeah, technology could be good.
absolutely,
But this way, hell no.
No, and technology would be used in harmony with the frequency. It wouldn't be in opposite of everything. I mean, right down to changing the music that we listen to on the radio to a different, just to keep people out of tune. Is what they've gone and done. I mean,
and people don't even realize that all the bands they like were created by the CIA or Tavistock.
Yeah, all of it is and that's what people. And again, we all have our things, like you said, Lisa. You like wrestling, I like my Survivor show. I watch football here and there, but it doesn't mean like people live their lives by this stuff and ignore everything else. And it's got a place. Entertainment and relaxation. It's got a place, but
music is very powerful. That's why they took it over.
Absolutely, and interpretive as well.
Industrial complex is very big in that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, one little thing. Did you see the Ricky Gervais monologue?
I did.
So did I.
I did. Well said. I don't know. That's all I saw was the clip of it. I didn't see what happened afterwards. Did they listen to him and shut their fat faces, or?
No, I listened to the whole thing.
I watched the whole thing, and
I don't know what clip are you referring to, Tom?
When he was telling whatever people getting their awards, to keep your politics to yourself and accept your award, and nobody gives a fuck what you know what I mean.
He said some pretty cryptic shit.
Okay, I'll have to watch more of it then. I only saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, it was in that 7 minutes, but you had to be listening for it.
Okay.
He said, "We're all gonna die." He said that.
Yeah.
We're all going to die, and this is the last one.
Okay. All right. Well.
And then he went on to do all that, which, it's funny in a sense, and everybody feels like they got their just desserts with watching the celebs get thrown down. But the fact of the matter is, if they didn't want him to say that, they'd have gone to commercial real quick and kicked his fat ass off the stage.
It's funny. I said the same exact thing as I was watching more than 15 to 20 seconds. I'm like, and they didn't shut him the fuck off yet. Then they want him to say this. I said the same thing to my wife. That's funny you say that.
Well, and then today I just posted that Warner Brothers has come out and said AI is going to be doing green lighting all their films. Well, you know what else it's going to be doing? It's going to be casting, directing. It's going to be everything that you watch is going to be CGI. And basically, I don't know if that was a nod at everyone or if that was just a nod at you celebrities are to fuck out.
Yeah, well, that would make sense,
Yeah.
I mean, then they could. First of all, they don't have to pay anybody.
There you go.
And then you don't have to worry about their popularity or fame being used against them. They don't have to worry
about their MK Ultra going bad.
Exactly. It starts, you know what I mean, being used against them. I mean, there's, and, really the whole world will be that. We're looking at a Ready Player One scenario where everybody's in that world.
That's why
if we're not already,
People get sick of me, and they get sick of me always talking about that. But, I mean, the government is almost over. It's almost over.
Yeah.
If you go to NextGov, that's the IT part of our government. That's really, the rest of it's a puppet show at this point.
Yeah, just to bring us into, this world that people won't even really realize isn't real.
Right, and they're going to make it get really, really ugly so that people accept it, and they're like, "Oh, well, we had to."
We had to, yeah, and again, this world is set up similarly. So, like I said, we already could be there to begin with, and just a different type, a different form of it, because this world all works the same. It all, is a virtual reality holographic experience,
when we went to school, Tom, there were no ties. You either won or you lost. And
Oh yeah,
I'm not saying we've lost, but if the chips were up today, you'd have to call it a loss.
Definitely, and that's part of the problem. People don't realize that we can lose, because that's where they wait for. Well, God won't let this happen.
That's right.
God's let it happen many times. You know what I mean? It's up to us. Our fate's up to us. We have to choose right.
I know, and it's like people think that we've talked about this, is coming to America. Do you know the amount of people and the suffering in this world? And, God hadn't come down to save the 800,000 children that are trafficked every year. No. The ones that the elite hunt in hunting parties, and their adrenochrome.
Yeah, what the hell's that? I forget. Mark mentioned that. It's called something, that damn game. You're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Where they hunt.
They hunt humans.
They do. Oh, yes, they do.
They actually showed that on Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Yeah, they love to put that in front of us too and pretend it's movie shit. Like, someone randomly thought that up. You know what I mean?
He watched the series, and that was on, and I was like, I'm out of here. I can't, because I knew it was based on reality. Yeah. And it was just too much watching this person try to run for their lives. And
they put that right in the Hunger Games too. They
that
was part of the whole first one. Second one too, but. Yeah, it's and we have our forms of it, our ultimate fighting and our football games, and you know what I mean. It's they love that throwing the Christians to the lions entertainment that just gets worse as their power becomes more, becomes more violent and more accepted.
Well, it's like in the Gladiator. I mean,
Yeah.
he tells you in the Gladiator, what are you not entertained, fucking assholes?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, is this entertaining to you? Watch me have to be down here fighting for my fucking life.
Yeah, and
Disgusting.
it is, and people just, I don't know, like I said, it seems at times, little things happen, and then, I like you said, I might get that little glimmer of, oh, but the reality of it is that, if it was over right now, yeah, we're not looking too good for truth, freedom, and all that, but
No, but at the end of the day, too, energy doesn't die.
right.
It's not the end of our. To me, the only way to lose is if they find a way and get our souls. To me,
Yes.
Right.
That's where with this shit, with these artificial humans, knowing they've got our genomes, knowing they've mapped our brains, look, that's fighting shit.
Yeah, because that is really their goal. It is a war for the soul.
If you want to win this round or this round of the battle or whatever, that's fine. But as far as you locking my soul in something away from where I go naturally after this, that I just can't deal with that. That's too much for me.
Not happening. That's worth taking that free spirit of ours and saying no, no matter what, don't give a shit. No, and because like you said, it is on that level. It is a war for the soul. That is where this is going ultimately. As David Icke has often said, that human beings just becoming a computer terminal. That describes exactly what you're saying. The soul trapped in there, having no control over the thinking, and
And what he said is, if we don't stop this artificial intelligence, we will no longer be what would be considered an organic human being.
Yep.
Our thought processes will be different. Everything will be different because they're merging us with this shit.
Absolutely. That's exactly right,
And I mean, I'm sorry, but delete your ass. Delete your ass.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just can't. It's like some days you walk outside and you're like, really?
I know.
We're just going to sit here, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of times that's my first thought when I look up in the sky, really, immediately. And then it's going to be another one of these fucking days where I get to watch them destroy everything from the sky, and everybody's driving with their phones in their hand and running in and out of stores, and you know what I mean? Like, nobody sees this. I mean, I must look like an idiot in traffic because I point at it all the time. Well, I stick my hand out the window and just point up at the big X while I'm driving. You know what I mean? And I see people look like, what the fuck's he pointing at? They really have.
There's some guy on YouTube, Mr. MBB
333.
That son of a bitch called. I'm sorry, dude. I don't mean it ugly. I do. What the fuck? X Cloud?
Huh? What do you say? What do you say, hon?
Okay, he does the sky photos, right?
Yeah.
And he shows some really good sky photos, but he doesn't call out the geoengineering. He doesn't call out the chemtrails,
right? Which are in every picture, I'm sure.
Thank you. Some perversion of it, yes.
Right.
So he shows this perfect X, and then a plane is flying up one of the X lines, and he goes, "Oh yes," and there's an X cloud, and I'm like, "The fuck?"
So he's serious? He's not being sarcastic?
No, he wasn't being sarcastic.
Oh my god!
Do you really think he's
Seriously?
Do you think he's that dumb, or do you think he has an agenda? I mean, who? I mean, I'm not trying to be. That's the way I try to call dumbness. When stuff is dumb, I mean,
I've heard a lot of things. I've never even heard my meteorologist, my paid ass CIA meteorologist, call it an X cloud.
No, yeah, right. Even they would kind of realize, hey, that's kind of stupid. They might pick up on it. There is no
Yeah.
Nothing in the world that can make an X cloud.
Oh,
That's
no,
natural. I mean, that's natural. There's
no,
no natural X clouds.
no.
Yeah. I mean, because I see those pictures and people with their
That's where
sunsets.
you just want to pick up your laptop and start banging your head on the screen.
It is, it is. And a lot of times I really have to go, you know what, that guy's a paid psyop. There's no way. He knows it's, you know what I mean? And I'm like, all right,
Well,
he's,
the only reason why I watch I watch his channel and I watch his Twitter is because people send him stuff from all over the world.
yeah,
So I will plug him on that end. But as far as,
yeah, right.
an X Cloud, dude, do you want my email? Let's chat.
But that is a good reason that, like you said, I follow many people that I've even said before. I don't agree with a lot of what they're saying, and some I agree with a lot of what other people are saying. But there's reasons, like you said, why you would follow someone like that. Their account is, like you said, from all over the world, or you're pulling something else from it, or whatever reason. But people are so quick to. That's why we don't really connect the dots in this community as a whole, because everybody, just like science, they hold on to their own little department. I'm Q, Q's over here, Trump's over here, flat Earth's over here, religion's over here, the occult's over here, and nobody realizes.
How dare you try to blend it?
Right. Don't draw the line and show the picture of the one big fucking evil Baphomet with, you know what I mean? That it all actually is. No, let's argue our pockets and our little corners, and But if we did that, if people really realized it, and just let go of that thing that keeps them in that corner, and realize that a Christian and a Muslim can have the same understanding of what is true, right, and moral, even if the name of their God is different and some of their practice. I know, blasphemy.
Tom, unionism.
I know.
Unionism.
Blasphemy.
Syncretism.
I know.
Syncretism.
God forbid we all just do what's right,
Oh my
and
God,
that's just
Tom.
one example. I mean, I can do it with Republican and Democrat.
Tom, I excommunicate you.
I can do it with politics if that offends the religionists. Sorry,
I
everyone.
excommunicate you.
But
The power of Christ compels you.
it's time for everyone to get out of elementary school and graduate.
Right.
So that's why I say it's just, to me, it's all so dumb, and so easily fixable, and yet has gotten so out of control, like you said, that we have this whole thing looking to come in to just not only police and monitor and enslave everyone and control everything, but to literally take your soul. But hey man, faster movies, dude. Faster movies.
Yeah, baby.
You get it in two seconds, man. The new Saw 27, where they torture everyone downstairs. I can get it in 2 seconds, man. Total blood galore. It's like,
you can get it real cheap because it's all CGI.
Yeah, right.
Written and directed and casted and everything else.
Yeah.
Boring for the AI.
Saw 27.
AI win all the Oscar awards.
It's true. It really is. It's insane. We are a gullible breed. As they said in the Men in Black first one movie. You know what I mean? If you remember that.
Yeah.
I wish they'd hurry over here with that zapper thing. So.
Yeah, right.
I do want a noisy cricket, to be honest.
I'll take one.
I do want one of those.
Yep, fits nice in your pocket. Powerful punch. Looks good to me.
I'd like to put it on myself at this point. If they're just going to walk in here like this, I'd like to go back to dumb, because I don't know if I can take it.
Yeah, right. Well,
eyes wide open watching this shit is a bit much.
It is.
It is.
It really is. It definitely is. I've been going. I have a chiropractor and stuff. I'm doing this new thing now with laser massage. I'm just, the stress.
Cool.
The stress.
Laser massage.
How is that?
It's this holistic place that I go to, and I get to all the oils and stuff. But there's a laser that they use to try to break up, because I just got this knot in my neck. It's been there now. I can't even.
Be careful of those lasers.
Yeah, I just it's worked. It's just a few treatments. I because I'm not having surgery. I'm doing
Right.
everything else, everything natural, everything I can. It's just this
Mhm.
knot needs to be broken up, and it's just nothing else has worked. And I kind of, stumbled into this in a way where I kind of felt like, and then when I walked in, and the room was full of just all this holistic medicine and information. I kind of felt like, you know what? I feel like this is right. I feel like I need to do
Right.
this, and
Well,
it's only for.
I've worked with chiropractors. As long as you find a good one, you're good. I'm just a massage therapist, so I was like, wait, don't replace us.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what she does too. You know what I mean? But they work together. She told me to go back to the chiropractor. I mean, she did want me doing both because.
Oh no, I think it definitely works better with both.
Yeah, yeah. So.
The only thing I was fighting was the laser.
Yeah, it's new to me too, and I was kind of like, but nothing. Massages aren't working. Nothing's working. And she was.
Well, hey, if it works and you don't have to have therapy, then good for you.
Yeah, because I'm not,
Mhm.
and I'm not doing surgery. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I
Yeah,
know,
that's what I meant to say, surgery.
and I know it's all muscular. So if I go to a doctor, they'll tell me, "Oh yeah, it's your L2S165. We got to operate." But she looked at me. She's like, "This
No,
is clearly
no
muscular."
doubt,
Yeah,
no doubt. This is people.
right.
People have done this to me.
Exactly. So, but it really feels better for the first day in a long time. So
Good.
I'm
That's
hoping,
good.
yeah, I'm hoping it just, because she said once we're done, once I break this up, you're good. You're not going to have to keep. So I'm hoping,
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah. So I don't know. Amazingly, you look and we've taken such a step backwards where, we used to go and get maintained for free, and then, or go and get maintained to pay, and then not pay when we were ill, because we were always supposed to be in balance in the past, and they knew how to do it. Healers knew how to keep us there, and now every doctor you go to will screw you up, no matter what, I mean, medical doctors, I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
they're just, they're, nothing they do or say is right, as far as
No, you're right.
understanding. I mean, people, like you said, Joe Dispenza's work and Bruce Lipton's work. Like, imagine if this stuff was incorporated into our medical field, and our understanding of this.
That's just another example of how it's completely fucked up and backwards.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but it is.
No, yeah, that was one of the things I said to her. I asked her if she had actually heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and she said, yeah, and she would start talking about him, and I just like, this was kind of meant to be, I think, because I've never said that to anyone, and they've known, besides, I don't know, the
Right.
little truth community crew, but, that, but you say that, and they're like, who? I want a Pez, what? They don't know what the hell I even said,
Well, even if people don't know about Joe Dispenza, most likely they would have heard about Bruce Lipton.
Bruce Lipton,
because his work is in a lot of like Barnes and Noble, in the New Age section, so to speak.
Yeah, that's where I found one of Joe's too. I'm
Becoming Supernatural is his latest one.
That's the one I was actually looking for, but I ended up getting, they didn't have it, and I got the one of Changing the Habit of Being Yourself or whatever. And
oh, cool! I don't have that one.
Yeah, it breaks down all the science and then all the meditation, techniques, as far as, instead of just, because I'm a terrible meditator. I have monkey mind. I can't,
That's okay.
Same here.
I'm going to put a warning out there. I've been a massage therapist and meditated and done energy work since 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm going to put a warning out.
Okay.
When you're meditating right now, you need to understand that all that shit that's been sprayed in the air is really there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the cognitive dissonance get you.
Mm-hmm.
Our ether has been hacked.
Yeah.
So all these people talking about astral travel and shit, really, really think carefully before you do that. Really research it and really be sure that's some shit that you want to do.
All I'm trying to do is get rid of the pain in my neck. I'm not trying to astro travel anywhere. I'm just trying to
He's talking about like things that people in general. Yeah.
I know.
I was talking about the.
I know. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I know that, Sarah. I know. I know.
Yeah. being a
But
smart ass.
I really did, and I think meditation is valuable, but I just think people need to be really aware of what has come into our reality.
Yeah, and the new age, like you said, a lot of like you said, this astral projection and all this kind of stuff. When really, meditation is just really about quieting the mind and becoming more conscious of aware of our own selves and our own moods and behaviors, so that we
You can do that anywhere.
exactly, and that's what I mean. I'll do it sometimes, when I'm driving, but I will. I'll just try to kind of zone out because I drive the same roads all the time. You can kind of drive subconsciously, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I've been driving. Well, I've done that when I'm in traffic, or I'll just kind of breathe and just kind of try to, because traffic sucks anymore. People really, if you want to see how. Sorry, human race. You want to see how dumb we're getting? Just watch each other drive anymore.
Oh my gosh, that is so true, Tom.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's like, especially today coming home. Oh my gosh, I swear, like, no,
it's true. People sit at lights.
I'm not a big Walmart person, but just walk through there and it'll make you just go.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. It's true.
No wonder this is where the FEMA camps will be. I get it.
Right. All they have to do is open for the day and then close the doors. We got that. They'll come walking in.
Hey, just let them drive those little cart things around, and they'll be good.
Yeah, they'll be entertained. What? Hey, it's all right. Walmart, cool.
I mean, you could lose IQ points just walking in there.
Oh, no, yeah. You do. I hated. I haven't been to a Walmart unless I absolutely have to. The last time I had to go there for years because another person had to get stuff from there that I used to be connected with, and I don't do that anymore because I'm not with that person anymore. So yeah, I don't really miss it at all.
Right,
no, it's like the drugs of human society.
It is.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, and we think we're gonna wake this up. Okay, then.
Last time I was in there, and it was a while ago, but I noticed maybe a year or two ago, but I noticed then that there was personal fucking little mini cameras on every little aisle. Like, what I mean? I'm looking at them like, you gotta fucking be kidding me, and things are all wrapped up and tied down, and they're in 37 plastic things to make sure you don't take this piece of gum, you know what I mean, or whatever. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Where you don't take the Prilosec OTC, or
right, you know what I mean, or the batteries, or whatever else stupid people, you know what I mean, that are such a hot commodity at Walmart, for God's sakes. Fucking gotta go to Walmart, man.
Now they're fully wired for 5G sound. The Walmarts are.
Yeah, I bet that makes sense.
I went in there. Oh gosh, I guess it was a couple months ago to run. I had to get a card. It was the only place in this town we were in, and I had an allergic reaction. I started sneezing and
from entering the building.
Yes, and then I found out that they were 5G wired with servers, like they had their own servers, so it's like its own 5G.
Oh God. See, that makes me sick.
That's not helping. That's not helping.
No, that makes me sick, because I said I'm noticing on our big, stupid kill us all towers that more and more rows are being put on, and they're getting bigger and bigger, looking more like, I don't know, the Matrix Center computer, you know what I mean? And I think I'm going to start taking pictures of them, and posting them as they change, I really should start doing that.
Well, sadly to say, the really scary ones are those smaller ones.
Yeah, I haven't seen those yet on the. Because then I'll get sick when I do. I mean, locally, I've seen them, on the internet, but I mean, not in our area.
I think I just posted. I just saw an activist post. Activist post says anyone can now transform a pole into a 4G or 5G small cell tower with small cell mounts. Isn't that
news? I saw that too.
So great. Yeah.
Isn't that lovely news, Tom? I thought you
definitely made my night. I'll sleep good now. I have a great sleep tonight.
No, Tom, you have to have a great sleep tonight. We have a full moon tomorrow. You're going to have great sleep, and you will. Mama Lisa says you're going to get good sleep, or else ought to come to New Jersey like right away somehow and make you get good sleep.
Yeah,
Okay?
no, I hear you. That works for
Okay.
me. I'm in because, I'm hoping actually I do because with my neck feeling a little better, that's what's kept me up is my
Yeah,
neck. So I'm hoping,
that's hard.
you know.
Well, make sure are you guys unplugging your Wi-Fi at night?
I don't have Wi-Fi here. I only have a wired, but still,
I
I don't
turn it
have
off
Wi-Fi.
periodically. It's downstairs, and I when I do remember to turn it off, but it's been more often to turn it off than not lately.
Good.
Um,
Make sure you do. Just that's the last thing I do before I go to bed if I haven't already done it.
yeah, it's
But
just
I make it the last light I turn off.
yeah. That's a good way of doing it. I sometimes fall asleep on the chair and then wake up and just walk
Gotcha.
upstairs and then I forget. You know what I mean? But
Gotcha.
when I'm awake and I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed, then I'll shut it off. So.
Right.
I don't know. I've been fighting to get sleep whenever I can at night. So once I'm in a sleepy mood, I'm like, all right, let me fall asleep. Don't move my neck. Don't move my head. Let me fall asleep.
Whatever helps.
Yes.
Sorry you've been in pain, Tom. That sucks so bad.
Yeah, it's really, believe it or not, I try that, but I've been in pain for years, so it is what it is. And, being off all prescription meds, believe it or not.
Wow, well, you're getting relief from this. That's great news.
Yeah, and, for all the years that I was on things, the only relief I really got was from them, and then they stopped working, but I still kept taking them to a point where it was more of a mental thing. Things still hurt, and I wasn't going to take more. So, and then I got educated and started saying, I don't want to take these fucking things. You know what I mean?
My thing with pain pills was they never seem to stop the pain. It's almost like they make you where you can deal with it.
Well, right. When I first started, from my injuries years ago, they did take the pain away, but then that's what it turned into. It was where you can just kind of deal with it. And that's one of the reasons that it was one of the last things I got rid of out of all my medications because they did keep me in a sense of, all right, I can turn, I can function a bit, my neck's not.
Are you drinking your apple cider vinegar?
Well, these are all the things that I have started doing too.
Okay, good.
But I don't know. As my buddy says to me, I was just talking to him over the weekend. I went up to Philly, and we were my son and I picked up his uncle, and we went up to my friend's house and watched the Eagles game. And we're having these discussions. See, this is what I kind of do, where I go and have these discussions, and then either get all pissed off or plant whatever seeds I can, and they try to get these guys to. But he said the same thing to me. He's pain pills. He's tried. What's that stuff? Kratom? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Kratom, this, that. And he's like, nothing has worked, and that's what to get him out of pain. And he's had all these surgeries. And like I said to him, I said, I think have to realize that we're at the point where we're all just so fucked up from all the air, all the food, all the this, the that there's just pain that, we're going to live with and try to deal with it as best we can, because these other things made me feel worse. They made me feel like I was in more pain. And then, I wasn't, I felt like they weren't doing anything, but, it's the poisons that you really realize they are once you realize what all prescription medicines are. I just don't want them anymore, It's just not something I'm not trying to, like I said, people take what they take, and I'm not knocking anybody that that does. Some people need whatever they need, but for me
There's
personally,
a lot of foods that help with pain that do a lot more good than people think.
Yeah, I've been on the turmeric kick too. Trying to, that's another one. But that is one thing I admittedly, and everyone that knows me, is my diet's not the greatest, So.
Come on, Tom. You gotta work on that.
What you eat, Tom.
Look, I'm Italian. I like my spaghetti. I like my, you know what I mean?
Hey, you gotta have good spaghetti. There's Tom, it's really cool because like Cremette and what's the other one? And another major brand of pasta. I think I forget the name of it. It's Barilla, Barilla. They are both non-GMO certified.
Yeah, no, I do. I do get
so that's
the better
good.
stuff.
So,
I just,
And I mean, like, there's lots of good ones that there's like field day. It was a field day. Like there's different ones that they're good, like pasta sauces that are not GMO.
Sauce, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Gravy.
like,
I got you.
I hope if he's
Yeah, those are
Italian,
good.
you better be making his own damn
I was going to
gravy.
say my dad's gravy is what, so but
I'm just saying. I know I'm not Italian. I'm German, so sue me. But
I'm Italian and Irish, so like I said, and then I got my Native American side.
German. He doesn't know what good food is. I'm kidding.
Oh, knock it
I'm
off.
teasing you.
Yeah.
I know you are. I have a little bit of Irish in me, so that redeems me.
Right, I'm the potato queen.
I love potatoes too. So.
Me too. Oh yes, me too.
As on a good aside though, I have been downloading a lot of videos, a shit ton of videos.
Good deal.
I've been concentrating on that. That's been what I've been doing, just downloading and downloading and downloading. I mean, seriously, like downloading.
I still can't figure out how to do it, so I haven't done a lot of it.
I was doing it for a while. I have, I don't know how much. I mean, I ended up buying what was from Mark's Ark. It was a terabyte that we sent him. Yeah,
I have more than a terabyte.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got 2 of them, and I have my own. So you
can usually get an 8 terabyte on Amazon, and yes, I know Amazon, but
it was like $50 or something. It wasn't.
Well, for 1 terabyte, yeah, but if you're going to like seriously download shit, you want to get like at least 6 terabytes, and an 8 terabyte is usually like $130, $150. But you can download a shit ton of
stuff. Yeah, that's
videos.
Humongous amount of space. Yeah, that's
so
you can go to the moon on that, maybe. No, that's a lot of it's a lot of space,
Yeah.
But because I know how much room is left on my terabyte. I've been downloading a ton of shit, so I can imagine what that one will hold. But you're right, you got to download everything, and then it's going to be gone, and it's got to be put somewhere because. To me, I almost want to make copies and bury them all over the world so that maybe someday somebody finds out, hey, wait a minute, whatever they're being taught, they find some truth somehow. Because, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I'd like to pretend that, we all know how this year's going to go, but these people, they know how to play the collective psyche and these games. And I just find myself sometimes getting pissed off at things, and I don't want those emotions to get the best of me because I know those were their fucking chess moves, and I don't want to react to it. But when we do start talking about wars with Iran, all I think about are the Iranian people or whatever fucking country we're going into, and how they're using our military to do this, and then not only making us the bad guys, but costing life, and even if they're not, sanctioning people, and just all of this stuff, and I can get pissed off at it, pretty quickly. So I have to realize, everything they're telling us is to get us pissed off. And, just kind of deal with it and be angry when necessary, but not always.
Be the observer. It's easier said than done.
Yes.
And I find myself on either side of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're human.
Yeah.
But if the observer is the place that you're going back to center.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be as far away from it before you correct course.
Yeah.
So you're doing just right. That's all we can do. And of course, for me, it was the koala bears in Australia and all those trees because that's my hot button.
Yep.
I can't take it. I know what happened here. I know how people if they ever quit fucking burning it.
Yeah.
In however many months, 2 or 3 months, it'll be forgotten about. And those people are going to be living in a burnout hellhole.
Yep. Yep. Same thing that's like you said, it's happened like here.
And
everywhere.
you know what? But to some degree, Tom, if we stay complete center and just observe, aren't we already becoming Ottomans?
Well, right. And that's why I think, the emotions are there for those. But,
right.
I guess, too, though, those emotions on such a big level, like I'm not going to be able to jump up and grab the missile and pull it down and stop it from, like, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of just get to a point, like, at times where, like, I guess things like that or even like you said, even these fires, like
Thank you for the visual. That was great. I mean, I'll call you.
Super dad indeed.
Super dad, case the book. No, you're absolutely
Super dad.
right.
But
it's
I can
over.
get angry enough to the point where, you know what I mean? You feel like that's what you want to do
Yeah,
because
and all
nobody.
you're gonna do is end up breaking your own shit in your own house, and then not
Yeah,
having
right.
to
You
fix
know,
it.
or
I get it.
damaging whatever mood you're in for those around you and all that kind of stuff, you know. And
Yeah.
I could still communicate these points without just wallowing in anger. And believe me, I've done that over the past year or two. I've
Well, I don't know
you
about
know.
y'all, but I mean, every now and then I just have to scream.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. You
I
know.
mean, I
And
make sure nobody's around and,
yeah.
try to eat a pillow or something when I do it. But every now and then I just got to let it just go, ah,
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
you have to. I
Yeah.
guess like for me personally, I channel it in like doing stuff like downloading stuff. I
Mhm.
have to do
You
something
download
concrete.
faster, don't you, girl?
I just I just have to
Download
do
that
stuff.
stuff.
Like I have to I just can't like I mean
You should just
screaming is
share
screaming is
harder.
doing stuff. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I just have to do it's
Well, I did that today too. I got pissed off
it,
on Twitter, and Lisa's like, I'll call you later. And I'm like, I
yeah.
kind of took it as a pat on the back, like, hey,
Yeah.
girl,
she's getting
hi,
focused. It's like
darling. And she didn't say anything,
understandably.
but I'll call you after work. And I'm like, I'm gonna get off Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just and I went and got some shit I needed to get done and played with my dog and watched the birds eating the bird feeder, and
Yeah.
that's how I bring beauty to every day,
Yeah.
even as I watch things and do get some upset and sometimes steer a little bit out to the side or a little bit out, a little too high, a little too low.
Hmm.
But like you said, the closer you stay to center lane, the less likely you are to be eating up the ditch,
Yeah. No, that's true. And I think what both of you said, it goes exactly. That's balance. What you guys both just said, doing what you were saying, Sarah, trying to, and then on top of it, taking it and focusing it into something that,
Sarah, what were
can.
you saying? Sarah, what you were saying? It says my internet connection wasn't stable during after you were saying about how you were watching the birdies. What were you saying after that?
Oh, I just said I watch the birds, eating at the bird feeder. I make sure to feed the birds since they took down all the trees and stuff. I feed the birds, the squirrels, the deer. And we all can make a difference and make a beautiful world by taking those small steps.
Yeah.
And so I go and I remind myself of what I am doing,
Right.
And that's what I do. And then I just got busy. My daughter moved out. She went to college, and so I was doing some stuff. Yeah, it's been a little emotional.
Yeah,
Daughter moved out. World War III.
Yeah, right. It's like, what kind of timing is that? Yeah, right.
Yeah, like just give Mama Bear a week with the cub out of the nest before we do that.
Yeah, before I mean, everything we've been.
Before you're wanting to go up there and pick her up and go, no, you're coming home.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I need to make sure you're safe right here. But anyway,
yeah,
that's it. And just, Tom, you do it with your kids.
Yep.
You just
Yep.
stay positive in your daily life, and
Yep.
then we can watch the shit show and it not kill us.
And you're right, and it definitely has made a difference. Realizing that I wasn't doing that before, and I was angry, and I was taking it out. I may be yelling about the chemtrails in the sky, but in a way where people don't want to hear it.
Well, I'm lucky. My husband, he loves it. If I get you're gonna rant? Yeah.
I gotta meet your husband. I love him already.
He kicks his legs up. He loves our show. He loves both of you guys. That's what he does in the shed. He does this little shed shit, husband shit.
Right.
On the weekends, and he watches our show. And I was like, Tom got our show up, and he was at work. He's like, I'm not watching this at work. That's my time. I don't want to be distracted. So we're with him in there in the shed when he's doing his little woodwork shit.
That's awesome. See, that's awesome.
Oh, another thing, Tom. One of these people that goes up to his work, and we're surrounded by Trump people. I mean, I'm in the South.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we're surrounded by him. So he goes, but this particular guy gets the chemtrails, and he has absolutely tried to take a big farmer in town, which is good for us. But he's getting the same treatment we are. Oh God, here he comes again. Jeez. Oh shit. So he comes up to my husband at work, and he's like, you really just need to watch this show. So I wish I could have seen the guy's face when we're talking about Trump. He's probably like, why the hell do you think I like this show?
Well, because that's what people do immediately. If you're talking about Trump, you must be a democratic, socialist, liberal, crazy person. They can't realize we're listen to what we're actually saying. Not that we don't like Trump. Like
no, I don't like Obama either.
No,
or Clinton or Bush
or Tulsi Gabbard or Bloomberg or any of these up and
Ilhan
comings
Omar,
none of it. It's
Andrew Wang,
the entirety, right? And if they could just kind of get off of that and maybe hear what we're saying, you could go ahead and like them and realize that. Tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself, but look at what's happening, see what he's saying, and realize that what he's saying and what is actually happening and what they're selling is a lie. And then, you know what I mean? And then tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself, that he's being lied to and there's good guys in there. I don't give a shit. Just realize,
Yeah, and he's selling our government out to AI.
Right, and that's what's coming in, and none of what's going on here is stopping
them are
that.
Fighting for it,
right?
And you would think they would. I mean, that's your job.
Yeah.
Look, Mr. Congressman, aren't you getting paid a good amount of money a year? What the hell are you going to do when you don't have a job?
Yeah, and I guess
that's what I can't get. And I can't get the fact that these people who are helping to create this and to bring it in, it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, if any one of y'all just happens by this video,
yeah,
you're not getting it. No. It's going to kill all of us.
You're being used, right, to bring this in. You're not building your breakaway civilization. You're being used to have this one assimilated, and then they'll be done away with. I don't care who they think they are,
Right.
We've all seen how it ends, all the bad guys are once they get in charge, they're going to just kill each other. And then, from there, it's just, and, again, I guess people, like you were saying, all these people, congressmen, whatever they are, and their salaries and their kickbacks and their other things to pass, that money takes precedence. And
I think they're being told they're gonna, get to live in the towers above the AI cloud. And
right.
They're so addicted to control that amount of control over people is just too much for them.
You're right. That's well said.
I picture the Hunger Games. I picture, remember the board. Mm-hmm. They had the board, and they, they're like, oh, she's too close she's too far away from the action. Shoot the fire, you know?
Yeah,
and that's exactly how it's going to go. Yeah. I mean, and they're doing it now. That's what they're doing with these fires.
Yes.
And that's one thing I do want to bring up, and I'm going to do it at the risk of making people mad. I'm not here to be popular. I don't agree with Max Egan in that I think he's downplaying the directed energy weapon part.
No, I agree.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
And it's just to the point of pissing me off.
I saw the one. You guys were talking about the same one where he did bring it up briefly and said there wasn't enough evidence. And
he keeps saying that.
Oh, he does. Okay.
And maybe there wasn't evidence at that point in time, but there is now.
It looked like it to me, right? I saw with the pictures. It looked like a do.
Yeah, A Plain Truth just did a really good video. If people haven't seen it, it's A Plain Truth for You. Now I think
is that Jamie's new channel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he did one that has undeniable proof. Mike Morales, which you can find on YouTube. What's his Weather Warfare?
Yeah,
it's Mike
above
Morales.
ground worlds, but his channel's Mike Morales. Yeah,
Mike
Yeah,
Morales. You can
his
find him on Twitter, and he's
Yeah.
also got a picture of one of the, what do they call that? The sword or something, directed energy weapon. It's a straight line that somebody over there got a picture of.
yeah, that one I saw. I saw Mike's, and again, look at the damage. It's all classic. You know, it's all classic.
Well, that's what Jamie was showing was, and I hadn't seen that many overhead shots.
Mm-hmm.
And he was it looked just like California, guys.
Yep, absolutely.
One house is mowed down to the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and the house next door is not touched, and the trees are still there.
Trees are all beautiful. Yeah.
The
fires, you know, these fires are the most ridiculous colors, and you know, I did see one. Go ahead, Lisa. I'm sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. I was actually looking at a plain truth for you. It's a plain truth, like a plain and like PLANE, and then truth, and then a space, and then the number 4, and then U.
Okay.
The letter U.
Right. Okay.
For people. And this is his latest video is called Paramagnetic Agriculture and Superplant and Garden Growth We Can All Do. So I like that.
Yeah, he's really he's really doing a lot with that, and
I like that.
Yeah, I like Jamie. I've always liked Jamie.
And empowering people to bring, you know, heaven to earth in their own way. Continuing to inspire people to take responsibility for our, like we're talking about. Your insides.
Yeah, Mike does the same. I mean, you know, see, these guys get it, you know, when it comes to, they have their opinions, and some of them for and some of them, but they understand the general consensus that we all need to have.
Jamie does in his research, and his conclusion was the Earth is flat.
That's what I'm saying without saying it. Yes, you're right. I know.
But he doesn't stay on that.
No, he doesn't.
And he puts a video here and there out about it.
But he doesn't really demean people for not believing it, you know, which is my beef with flat Earth. Like I said, I don't care what you put.
Well, I think it was weaponized. I think. I think it was another. It came, I think, before Trump, and you know, I tell you, Tom, I went in it to debunk it, and I just flat couldn't. And
I mean,
pun not intended, but it was funny. I just flat couldn't. I couldn't debunk it. But I still, what I came to the conclusion of was what you said. It does not matter what the shape of the pen is. We're in a pen.
Yes, you know, and
if we can get out, then we can all decide. That's what I kept telling them was to definitively find out, we need their tools.
Yeah, we need to get out of this, you know, right? We need
we need to be able to check out the Vatican's Lucifer telescope, but we can't do that until we out those bitches.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that it's just absolute truth. There's so much that we need and can do, but until these fucking people are dealt with, and that keeps getting skipped, you know, and it's just this polarization of, you know, everything else, and that moves forward, and that's kind of what, you know, like you said, it probably was weaponized, and you know, well done. You know, again, these people understand that psychology.
It's just another splinter in the truth community because that was total, and it's polarizing. I try to stay away from everything that is totally polarizing.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. It just, you know, it's there to do just that. It's not there to tell you the truth and to get you to research yourself. It's there to just polarize, you know, opposites.
We agree on so many things, and that was one thing what made me so sad was a lot of the flat Earth community is very intelligent.
Agrees, and that's what I'm saying.
They got the whole Jesuit thing.
Yeah,
they really did.
Yep, you know, a lot of them, you know, and I can even say that in some areas of a lot of the Trump, they at least get certain aspects of the deep state. I mean, it's all the names that they call it, the cabal, the deep state, you know, it's all the same shit. It's all the same stuff. You know, it's just. You know,
well, they've even weaponized that. They're hiding behind 20 different shields, and
yeah, you know, and all this information is so. I mean, David Icke's book, The Trigger, that his newest book is for anybody that doesn't really get September 11th. I mean, every piece of evidence you could ever see, but then that background he does on taking the dark occultists back to that Sabbatean Frankists, as he calls them, and I do. I wonder, because it just seems, when I was suspended in October, and now. Again, like I did actually kind of realize when I looked through, I did send some David Icke stuff out there during that same time that I was suspended. And it's his new book is not something they want you reading. They didn't even take the time to trash it because they don't want to call any attention to it whatsoever. They didn't want to get on and debunk it. They didn't want to get on and say this. They just left it go pretty much. And it's these kinds of things that of course started us down the path, but I mean it's just so obvious now when you have people that have been writing this down even outside of him, their own papers, for crying out loud, for 30 years, that this is what they're doing. There's still a small chance, I feel. I do feel there's still a small chance, but it's small. It's teeny tiny. Did you ever see Saturday the 14th? Teeny tiny bat, teeny tiny bat, teeny tiny bat. Did anybody ever see that movie? Or am I showing my age? Okay, I'm showing my age. Maybe somebody out there saw that fucking movie and is cracking up.
Well, I'm the youngest, so that doesn't mean anything, Tom.
I know.
I'm the youngest of it.
Well, it's I refer everything back to the funny movies, man. It's funny movies is, like I said, it's a part of us that I feel if we embraced, we could grow confidence in ourselves, and we could laugh at ourselves. And, if a joke is funny about somebody else, it's funny when it happens to you. Like these kinds of things, people are so sensitive and choose to be anymore, way more than they ever did, So that's why I'll never give up my sarcasm and my laughter and my ball busting, because, if you do, then it's gone. And we have this whole little world that is offended by every damn word you say, and that's what they're crying. That's how they're attacking the free speech. That's how they're creating this, So I don't know. I rely on our wit and our humor to try to show how fucking dumb this all is, So, but anyway, guys, it's getting late. I gotta.
Yeah, it's 9:20.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Night, guys. Have a good
night. You too.
Good night.
Thank you for everything, you guys. I'll talk to you guys next week. And you did get my number, right, Lisa?
Yeah, I do have your number.
You could forward that to Sarah as well. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, sure, I will.
I don't have her email at the moment.
Okay.
So, thanks, guys.
Yep.
Have a great night. Bye, Sarah. Bye, Lisa.
Bye.
night, sweetie.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Night, night.